Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Strictly Art Live number 87. I am your host, Rob Wilson. I'm a comic book artist, creator, philosopher part time, musician part time. Very, very little part time on the musician thing. Who has time for all this stuff, right? A young person, which is not me. um, I am here today where we're going to go ahead and cover some straight to tasks. Type of things, or straight to task type of things, in the form of anime Kaiju number 8, season 2, episode 1, and countdown, the latest show featuring Jensen Ackles, aka Dean Winchester. We're going to cover episode 1, but after this show, I'm going to make a point to try to get up to speed with all the episodes. And hopefully tomorrow, if I can live stream, I'll go ahead and cover all the episodes, so that way the show after that will be up to speed. Warp speed, if you get my drift. Captain's log. So I hope everyone's doing great today. It is Monday morning. It is morning in America again, specifically the DMV. It is not that hot yet, but we will reach the boiling point, I'm sure, by noon. Weather's not too bad. Had a little bit of rain. No major thunderstorms yet. We've been getting them like once a week now. Like these super heavy, Warren Heaven, God of Thunder type of thunderstorms that roll on through. Literally, they make the noises of rolling thunder. You guys, let me know if that happens in your area. It's a sound to behold. So yeah, I'll be working on some artwork while I go ahead and cover those. I will be reading a little bit of the summaries and then talk about a little bit more about what the hell, how I feel about these shows in particular. And we'll go ahead and get the ball rolling right here on Strictly Art Live number 87 with me, your host, Rob Wilson. Let the good times roll. Yes, indeed. So, we're here as I'm working on the coloration of one of my latest posters coming up. Not really ready to show my comic book work yet, but I do hope to spend more time on it for the next couple of days that I have free. John Fairchild is a character that is part of my comic book universe, known as VKP. What does VKP stand for? It stands for Virgil Kill Paradox. It's not what you think, but it is a complex story in which I hope to introduce other themes that have a storytelling point to it, to where it tells a good story and something you can kind of like think about and deal with in inspiration. So let's go and get the ball rolling. We got Kaiju number 8, season 2. This is episode 1. I gotta say, before I even start reading anything, the opening sequence, the dream sequence, which I already knew it was a dream sequence by how things were going compared to how the last episode was in season 1. But nonetheless, it was pretty great. Let me see if I can get his name right. The old man, Hibino, Hibino, if that's how you pronounce it. He was out of control. So that's going to be probably one of the main themes of this season, where he kind of fears getting out of control, because pretty much everyone around the defense forces have threatened him. If you get out of control again, I'll kill you. I'll delete you. That's been the theme for this anime. So. It picks up where the previous season left off. The episode also introduced new characters, including the captain of the First Division, Jin Narumo, who is known as Japan's strongest anti-kaiju combatant. The what? That makes no sense. Um, yeah, the dream sequence. Like I said, I picked it out as soon as I saw it. Fair enough. But moving on, we had the first kaiju of the episode, which pay homage to Japan's first kaiju in the form of Godzilla. It was a light-skinned Godzilla, but it was definitely Godzilla nonetheless. And he did his traditional, go under the bridge, break the bridge type thing. And that was on a roll. That felt very nostalgic, so to speak, because it was spot on. Excuse me. Change his. Actually, you know what? Should I change his pupils? I don't know. Let's see what different variations look like. So yeah, Godzilla did his thing. Um, the young girl, what is her name? The young girl who's the daughter of like the president of the defense forces or whatnot, the one that tested Ibano the last season. Basically, she got sent to Division One, which is where the strongest anti-kaiju combatant, the captain Jim Namaro, trains. So that was ironic. And when she reported for duty, she noticed that he was a really bad, like slouching gamer, which in a way, I get it. It's a way to make fun of gamers. And stuff like that. But I will say that I will say that he was such a slouch, and his like main mentor kept kicking his butt. I thought that was really funny. Um, I almost thought he was going to be like an L type, L from Death Note. But he ended up being kind of like his own character. He was very specific that he didn't care about honor and tradition. He just cared about how strong you are, and that was his thing. So moving on, he managed to take. Ooh, you know what I just noticed? He managed to take her along for the ride for one of the examples of the strength, since she just joined the division. I guess during the process, when it comes to stuff like that, she had not been cleared for combat with that team, because that team operated at a higher level, an optimal level, a best in the world at what they do level. So that's what they were rocking with. It was pretty cool. Also, let me see here. They're Yeah, he went against Godzilla. That's what I'm gonna name that kaiju, and he kicked butt. No doubt about it, he kicked butt. And I think it was like one punch, because he had like a gun blade, and the gun blade was so serious. Once he pierced the skin, it had like a bazooka to get inside of the Godzilla type kaiju. And like I said, that was a wrap. And he demonstrated what he expected out of the new recruit, and that was that. So while all this was going on, the old man was still waiting, as they were deciding the fate of what he was going to do. The president already told him that he would be given a chance to prove himself after he passed his test, and in doing so, he finally got called to, I guess, board meeting or a meetup, in which Division One was invited to the meeting, and it was known that the old man, Kaiju number 8, would be transferred to Division number 1, same as where the president's daughter just got assigned and got to witness the strength and the might of Division 1 of the Defense Forces, strongest in Japan. Her assessment of them indicated that they operated on a whole nother level. Even the most basic of units had amazing strength. So that's how she kind of looked at it, and they made that very clear and unknown. and known. Now, also, the old man's friends, they kind of talked about him in nostalgia and said, hey, he'll be back and stuff like that. One of his best friends was like, man, it's hard for me to focus because, my buddy's gone. And he was reassured by his fellow classmates. So that was cool. So pretty much in the long run, this episode, great, pretty much showed how things would pan out, who's going where. And from there, okay. From there, we got a post-credit scene, not just a preview of the next episode. We got it was like almost like a minute and a half, 2-minute post-credit scene where another kaiju was coming up, rising out of the middle of the city. And that's going to be a big mess. We shall see where it goes. And where it stops, no one knows. So, yeah. Kaiju number 8, season 2, episode 1. Back in action. They were getting it. You know what I'm saying? Almost like they didn't skip a beat. Now, I had heard from some people that it was not going to be as good as it was. But I have yet to see that. So I have no faith and no stock in that at all. Let's see here. I'm looking for. Oh, I can just do this. Take that up here. Yeah, so pretty cool stuff. Looking forward to this next episode. Which, moving on, that brings us to Countdown. Friendly reminder, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Strictly Art Live, number 87. I'm your host, Rob Wilson. I'm drawing comics as I talk about different things that do interest me. I have spent plenty of time, getting on James Gunn and all his stuff. And it's at the point now where, hey, he's defeating himself. So my work is done with that. That's pretty much how I look at it. My work is done. Now, where are these demon hands? This is a bit of a complex piece for me because there are so many elements. And for those of you that have watched my show in the past, I do refer to some of these layers as a type of elements because some go over, some go under, some go in between other layers, and trying to make that appearance look evident, it can be a process. But that's why with Clip Studio Paint, you can do a lot of layers, but know where you put your layers, so it's good to create folders and apply them accordingly. So what I'm going to do here, I can't accept that. I can't spell today. Help me. No, I'm kidding. Alright, so here's what I'm going to add to this. We got these demon hands everywhere. Did that come through? It did not. You know why? Yeah, color is multiplied. So there we go. Now we're cooking. This is what I was trying to get it through. Alright, so this right here I gotta figure out. Well, let's test a couple colors. Alright, so for anyone that is curious on where they can find my stuff, my artwork that's available, it is available where you see the crawl at the bottom, my link tree. You go to my link tree, you will find my store on ArtStation, and also my comic through Art to Marith, the 9th Art. Those are all available there. And yeah, excuse me. Support a upcoming artist. I guess you call it upcoming. I mean, I've been doing this for quite some time. So let's see. So it's important that I make sure I emphasize these highlights because they're going to be important towards the shading once I start the shading process. Okay. All right. Countdown. Season 1, episode 1. Is it season 1? Is there going to be a season 2? That is yet to be seen, considering what's going on in this first episode. Well, the episode introduces LAPD Detective Mark Meacham, played by Jensen Ackles, Dean Winchester, who is recruited to a secret task force to investigate the murder of a Department of Homeland Security officer, Bob Darden, played by Milo Ventimiglia. He's a good actor too. I think he was the one from Heroes, I do believe. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I think that's the same guy. He looked a little bit older, but he was able to in Heroes. He could use any other people's powers, something like that. He was kind of like a all for one type, who was killed in broad daylight by cartel agents. Episode sets the stage for intensity of the series as task force uncovers a plot involving a potential nuclear threat in Los Angeles. Okay, that graze over of what the hell is going on in this show didn't do it justice. It didn't, because this show, let me tell you, this show is off the chain. As soon as Jensen Ackles was introduced, this guy, prison fight, like one of those like over the top prison fights. You almost thought you was watching like Royal Rumble or something. And he's getting it in. People were hitting each other with weights and stuff, and he took a couple to the dome. And he got pulled out because him being in prison, it was undercover. That was the full story going on with that. And I like he's still rocking the Soldier Boy beard. He's still rocking the slightly kind of like Winter Soldier limp hair. He would have made an interesting Winter Soldier, by the way. Damn. Look out, Sebastian Stan. Your time might be on the chopping block. Okay, that came out pretty well. I think I'm gonna stick with that for now. And come back and revisit it later. Alright, so in the meantime, so all this is multiply. Let's go ahead and get started with shading and then create lighting. Don't worry, I'm gonna get back to the episode in just a moment. Gotta set up my stuff. So let's see here. Let's see what we can do with just a little bit of airbrush first. Non-compliance, that's what I'm getting. Alright, so next up on that episode, he gets sent to the task force. He doesn't know why. He's not too happy about it. He starts to consider, you can tell he's considering something as to why he's being assigned to this task force. He's kind of hesitant about it in the first place, but he's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to do it. That's how it rolls. So here's the tough part about this. All right, yeah, I gotta start combining stuff. All right. So I'm gonna combine No, with suit, shirt, hair. I'm really not ready to commit to the pupils yet. Hair, eyes, skin. Okay. Alright. So that's all on one layer. Yeah, so they show him, then they show the backgrounds um, of other agents that are being assigned. One got held hostage by cartels, and she fought back, and that was that, you know. So that's pretty much how that whole process started. About what do y'all think? Should John Fairchild have blue eyes, brown eyes, or red eyes? That's a tough one. I don't know why I never thought of this earlier. This is what I get. Yeah, let me try the eyes of ice. Since most of his stuff is blue anyway. But yeah, once all the members of the team are introduced and headed up by the top guy, we see that there's a little bit of friction because Jensen Ackles, you know, he is a bit of a ladies' man. He's like always ready to get it started, and he gets pushed back from female team members, and he has to learn. And they go ahead and deal with their first raid, which was really good because he bogarts him, and then he said I think they shoot at the door of somebody, and he goes, I'm hit, oh, I'm dying, you know, man down. It was a great fake out just to go ahead and bait in the guy to look at the peephole, and then they kick the door down. They go to work. It comes down to a lady that has a bush knife in the kitchen because that's the closest thing she could grab, and then the lady that told Jensen Ackles to wait and let her team, you know, take the front. She goes ahead and disarms that lady, and then from there, I'm gonna keep it on this for now. I'm gonna figure it out. We gotta figure it out. Okay. Let me go to his shading here. So yeah, we gotta figure it out with this. Let me see. Okay, let me do double multiply. Probably not. So yeah, they go through that, and it's a test. It's like one of their first tests to see how they get along and everything. And they did some questioning, and some of the people they questioned were kind of suspect. It was a great setup. Kind of remind me of NCIS back with Mark Harmon, the original NCIS days. Me and my ex fiance used to watch that show a lot. You know what I mean? It was great. So yeah, they asked people to figure out who the suspects are. They do the questioning where the agent worked that got killed, and they revisit one of the guys, and he's running. So we got a high speed chase. They chase him down, which was great, action packed. Like the pacing for this show so far, just in one episode, was like epic. You know, it was just boom, 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 go, 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 go. All right, look, couple questions. All right, let's go. Great stuff. Excuse me. Um, yeah, they get the guy, and then they revisit the questions. The team leader wants them to break the guy, so we can go ahead and figure out what the hell's going on. They're running out of time. The team members have a bit of a shady past, the members of the task force, and they still try to work together. So Jensen Ackles and the lady earlier that he clashed with because he just went in first for the raid that they had to go to. From there, we got like a good cop bad cop thing, but um she bad cops her own partner. I thought it was hilarious. She started talking about his marriage, unfaithfulness, and all this stuff, and I was like, dang. And then Jensen Ackles just falls right into it and gets on her a little bit, just enough to get on the guy that they are questioning. It was a great chemistry, great setup. I mean, there was there was no missed beats in regard to that interrogation. It was a great interrogation. Again, fast paced, hard hitting, um, pretty damn good. They covered a lot in a single 1 hour episode, which the 1 hour episode came to an end with a raid to figure out some transaction that they found out was going down. But the transaction, what they thought was going to be a drug bust, was actually exposed to what was mentioned earlier when I read the synopsis. And that was that there was a nuclear level threat where basically the cartel agents were smuggling um, radioactive ingredients for a big event. And now they're trying to figure out what's going on. So they started showing a preview of the next couple episodes. I was like, I can't watch that. You know, it would spoil the episode. I definitely don't want that. So it was, like I said, I enjoyed it. Great show. Great show. I look forward to watching more of it. Fast paced, high octane, no mercy, laid on the table. Um, Jensen Ackles' character, Dean Winchester's character, he's already on the verge of dying. You know, so it's almost like they tapped into a little bit of the terminal list with that. So, damn, you know what I mean? It just happened so fast. It was like a fun roller coaster ride. And normally I don't watch shows like that because I figure they're like so close to reality. That's like it's not a true level of escapism for me. But this, man, I was like, what happens next? You know, let's go. And it was pretty good, pretty good. I walked away from that very satisfied. And I was very surprised as to how good it was. I've seen it advertised many times in passing. And I said, all right, I see you, Dean. I see you doing your thing. I'll get to you eventually. You know what I'm saying? But when I did, and I had a coworker recommend it too. So with those methods of approval, I was like, heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. So those were the things of importance that I was going to cover, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, besides that, you know, just dealing with the monotony of life, dealing with work, trying to navigate it, and you know, just been playing Marvel Rivals. I think I've gotten a lot of it out of my system by now, and what I mean by that is, you know, I know how it kind of works, and um, since I do not play, you know, ranked, that's one less thing that I have to pursue. So I'm happy with. Um, I am happy with my quick play, and I am content with teaming up with fellow players to fight the AI, all that stuff. I need to. There we go. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. So it doesn't require that much of my time. I may play like a couple hours or whatnot, but I've got most of the stuff anyway, so I can start to scale back. No need to keep playing to exhaustion. That's where the frustration kicks in. But yeah, I've given ample time to have fun and learn the game mechanics a little bit more. I can honestly say I've given Emma Frost plenty enough time. Let me focus and get team leader Adam Warlock back in the mix, doing what he does best, healing the team, strategically, contributing to the DPS, getting the job done, bringing peace to the universe. That's pretty much how I look at it. All right, here we go. Yep, that's another one. We always get our regular bannable people that are trying to sell views on Twitch, which is fine. Most people who watch my stuff on Twitch is it's in passing, so I'm okay with that. Excuse me. I am completely okay with that. Okay. But yeah, that's about all that I've had the opportunity or time to do or enjoy. Which I normally have a pretty tight schedule. Even tight schedule for leisure activities. So this is where I'm at, and I'm enjoying it as best I can. Am I missing out on something? Please let me know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think Kaiju, the season 2 just came out of Kaiju number 8. So it wasn't I think people are already doing reviews of it. I think it's fine. Like I said, I'm excited to see what happens next. Yeah, if anyone asks if I've seen Superman, nope. Will I watch it eventually? Yeah, eventually. It is definitely not priority number 1. It is not a must-see. Because I don't like to pay for suffering. So, I'll see it when I see it. I did hear that that ever since the launch of James Gunn's Superman, there's been an influx in views of watching Man of Steel, including Christopher Reeves. People were watching the James Gunn one, and they were like, "That's not Superman. I want to watch the real Superman." All right, I said I wouldn't do any bashing, so I'll divest. But yeah, just chilling, man. Enjoying this time. We're at pretty much at the peak of summer, and once that's gone, we get to hopefully nice weather in the fall. No dark winters. We don't need those. Please, Lord, no. Oh yeah, I gotta do his other do it this way. That way we get that highlight going. But yeah, hopefully everybody's doing alright out there. Just came off of the weekend, living life, enjoying life. Enjoy it to the fullest. Hold up. Let me add that, my favorite effect. Why is... there we go. I've been waiting to start coloring this thing for a hot minute. It's just a matter of trying to get around to it. I still have to get around to watch Don't Look Up. I know Levi had brought it up last time, and I was looking for it and I could not find it. But I think I found it. I'm gonna have to rent it off of Prime Video because I don't have Netflix, so I'm gonna do it that way and check it out. It's crazy to think that thing came out like back in 2000, or I'm sorry, 2020. I was like, damn, I didn't know that much time went by. I remember they were talking about it in the news. It was pretty big news. But yeah, it just flew away. Or should I say time flew away with work, and other stuff. Um, I do see in Street Fighter 6, there's a Sagat. Sea Viper's returning. That's pretty good news. Um, haven't seen Sea Viper since Marvel's Capcom 3. You know, she was pretty cool there, but obviously, when you start dealing with like tournament level characters, Magneto, you know, Magneto and Doctor Doom on almost every team, foot dives across America, that kind of thing. So she unfortunately was not one of the more dominant characters. I'm gonna turn that into it. Yeah. Yep. So we are streaming live from YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and Kick, and IG. Feel free to stop by on any of these platforms and say hi. Let's see here. I know I gotta upload parts 1 and 2 of The Adventures of Rivals onto Rumble. I'll take care of that later today. And I'll probably have a new segment as well. I do have some more Johnny Storm footage I need to upload. But in moderation. Only get so many credits to make clips. I'm not doing that stuff manually. Hell no. It takes up way too much time. Time I could be spending drawing. And that is the objective for this, this time, opportunity off work. Trying to add a little bit of shading effects to this as I go. A little bit of smudge and soft shading and hard edge shading, if that's what you call those. So let's see, I'll leave that. Leave that. That might be at a bad angle. Yeah. Let's try this way. Triangles. Maybe. This might be a fruitless effort. I'll revisit it later. I don't want his face to look too square, too flat, you know? And then even with this here, add some more shading to it. Oh no. So yeah, I'm making all these little small details. In hopes to come back to them later. I just hope I don't erase a bunch of it when I do come back to it. You know, you look at stuff with a fresh set of eyes and you're like, no, that simply won't do. And it's like, damn. In fact, I can do this. That covers all that ground. Alright, so let's see what else here. Because I got the lights going that way. Let's see. Decisions. The good thing is that most of this has already been shaded down by the ink rendering. There's actually not much I have to really add to it. Uh-oh, started it wrong. Make some corrections to that quickly. that. Okay. Anything over here. These are going on metal prints, so I think respectfully, I want to make sure I do the proper amount of detail that looks somewhat accurate for this piece that I have drawn. So I'll probably come back over here with a darker shade to give more depth. Doing it on the fly. This is what we do here at Strictly Art Live. Doing it on the fly. Oh, wow. So almost an hour. Too soon. Well, I'm gonna work on this some more offline. So. It'll be fine. Rain, sleet, or snow, viewers or no viewers, the job has to get done. And that I guarantee. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to add some more depth to this. Because otherwise, this is some fairly lighthearted shading. Now let's see. I'm gonna move on to these guys. Well, let me make sure this doesn't interfere. It does. As they say in outlaw stuff, don't interfere. Alright, just making sure everything's active. How's everybody doing out there? If you just joined me, working on a comic poster, that will be a metal print. That is what I like to create. Not just art, not just unique art, but art through a durable, hopefully everlasting medium. And I think a metal print will last longer than this poster. Just my opinion. I could always be wrong for some odd reason, but I'm giving my opinion. Like filet mignon. Alright. Alright, I could expand that a little bit more. I think we got something there. Look at that fade. I'm getting hyped for nothing. But I mean, hey, it's my artwork. That fade, I'd say, looks pretty cool. It adds a nice little effect to Deuce in particular, based on the direction of the lighting. And I think we struck some gold there. Make sure this is underneath that highlight, because I'm going to come to that highlight later. One more detail focused. Alright, yeah, we're going to do that all in one swoop. I'm going to come back to that. I call this fragmented shading. I used to do it when I was drawing anime in the past. It really focused more on the coloring than it did like the inking and line work and all that stuff. Not to say this is a rush job, but it's enough to like get things started, so to speak. Put that here. On the other end, and there, this here, full conjunction is going to be where the soft light kicks in. Alright. That's the kind of progress I'm talking about. Just blend that in there. Some of these edge points. Just a little bit. Okay. So we see here, we already get a difference in contrast from Fairchild to Deuce, the way the lighting and shading hits their faces. Obviously, when I start using the lighting layer, then that'll complement where the shading areas are not. So that's kind of how I operate with. Well, that is how I operate with that. No doubt. I've been inking and doing so many sketches of stuff. It feels great to actually be coloring again, since I do it all. see what we can do with this before I go ahead and quit. Do a big overall. See, some of these lines I premeditatedly placed them out for dispersal because I knew where some of the lighting or shading was going to go. So let's see. Smooth out some of this stuff. Oh, look at that error right there. Gotta fix that. I better call somebody. Just kidding. I'll handle it. That's the thing with like a detailed piece like this. Obviously, I know there are more detailed pieces like this, pieces more detailed than this, but still, nonetheless, it's a lot of focus when it comes to getting all the areas you want to have an effect on in the realms of dark and light. Go. Yeah, I think that's a good start. Let me go ahead and just okay. Not bad. Let me see something. Or okay. I can smooth some of this out. So each element, again, has a bit of a unique shading to it because it stands in a different part of this piece. Oops. Okay. So the nose. Let me tend to that before. Nobody knows. Slap. And then the angle of shading, I'm gonna come in from this side. I'll work on it some more. For now, we're off to a pretty good start. Good momentum, I think. Yeah, pretty good momentum. I'll get back into the groove of it the more I work on this. A lot of this over here will be overwhelmed by a lot of highlighting. Now the metal parts, you see the black lines, the black rendering, that's already going to be my guidelines for when I do the shading there. So yeah, we got a lot of this started in the right direction, I do believe. Most of it's focused on Fairchild, so that's why a lot of his stuff has to look a particular way. Starting off right. But I'll add more depth to his shading. And plus, too, with Deuce, his shading came out a lot more developed because he has darker skin, obviously. So keep that in mind when shading, using a multiply layer. Multiply layer while using grays or shade based on what color you're coloring, it will show up more or less. And then once you have those gray tones exactly where you want, then you can put like a clip layer over top of it, and then start adding like a little more color, like around the areas where there would be blood flow around the face. Um, you know, Chester, if that's exposed and stuff like that. So yeah, that's been my run for this session of Strictly Art Live, number 87. Excuse me. Beyond Raw Lit energy drink. It's got me rolling. That is the first half of the show. We covered Kaiju number 8, season 2, episode 1. We covered episode 1 of Countdown to Lockdown. Watch this. Woo! Sorry, Ric Flair flashback. Yeah, so we covered those two, and then I shared a little bit of my technique as I was working on the colors with this. And I'm gonna have to figure out. I thought I had a base for this. No, I don't. Yes, I gotta develop a base for this thing, because I have one. Yeah, I gotta develop one, because if I don't, then well, let me see if I can do that right quick. Does it get the faces too? Yes. Right. So let me create a base for the background. Now I gotta do one for Deuce too. I can get rid of this. Clear. And then just create a base background. I'll explain it. It's a little bit complex, not that complex, but basically by using layers that have multiply blend effect on it. If you have a background that's not white, it will dim those colors. Alright, so that's there. But as long as you have like a base, it keeps the colors, which is good. But notice how Duke's got a little bit darker. I gotta create a base for him too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, little things like that, little technical things, they're interesting. Hopefully. I find them interesting because they help improve my artwork and, make things look very professional, that I can proudly say I did that. And hopefully someone wants to buy it. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for stopping by Strictly Art Live, number 87. I'm your host, Rob Wilson. Remember to love those that are close to you. Hug them the tightest you can, as if there is no tomorrow, because we never know whether the next day is promised. And if anyone says it is, remember, it's a setup. All right. Y'all take care. Peace out.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.